My name is Evelyn Hart, and the story I'm about to share isn't one I'd ever expected to live through, let alone recount. I'm a retired school teacher living a quiet, reflective life in the rolling hills of Vermont. My days have been filled with the simplicity of tending to my flowers, reading novels by the fire, and savoring the joy of baking cookies for my grandchildren during their weekend visits. Life, as I knew it, was gentle and unremarkable until one fateful afternoon when everything changed. It was an unassuming spring day, the kind where the scent of blooming lilacs fills the air and the sunlight filters through the curtains in golden streaks. I had been pruning the rose bushes in my backyard when a sudden, sharp pain gripped my chest. It wasn't the dull ache of overexertion or a fleeting discomfort I could brush aside. This pain was visceral and commanding, as though an unseen hand had clutched my very heart. The world blurred. My legs buckled. The last thing I remember before everything went dark was the sound of the wind chimes gently tinkling in the breeze. When I opened my eyes again, I wasn't in my garden. I wasn't even in my body. I was hovering, weightless, above the scene, watching as my crumpled form lay sprawled on the grass. Paramedics were already rushing to my aid, their voices urgent yet muffled like a distant echo. The sight was disorienting but strangely serene. There was no fear, no panic, only an overwhelming sense of detachment and calm. Then it began. A radiant light, warmer and more vibrant than anything I'd ever known, enveloped me. It wasn't merely bright. It was alive, pulsating with love and acceptance. It drew me in, and I felt myself moving toward it effortlessly, as though I were being carried on a gentle tide. In this moment, the pain and the earthly worries melted away, leaving behind a profound stillness. As I crossed into this ethereal light, the very fabric of existence seemed to shift. Time and space dissolve. I was no longer Evelyn Hart, the grandmother and gardener. I was part of something immeasurably vast and eternal. It was then that I became aware of a presence, not a faceless abstraction, but a being who radiated both immense power and tender gentleness. This was no ordinary presence. It was the essence of love itself, infinite and unconditional. "Welcome, Evelyn," a voice said, resonating not just in my ears, but in the deepest recesses of my soul. It was neither male nor female, neither loud nor soft. It simply was. There is much to see and much to understand. Before I could respond, the space around me transformed. I was no longer in a tunnel of light. I was in a place that defied earthly description. It was a vast, endless expanse where scenes of the past, present, and future unfolded like pages in a book. I saw my childhood home, the faces of loved ones, moments of joy and sorrow, but they were merely glimpses, fleeting and peripheral. The focus was not on my life, but on something far greater. "Evelyn, humanity stands at a pivotal juncture," the voice continued. "The choices made now will ripple through eternity." With these words, the visions began in earnest. I saw Earth from above, its beauty breathtaking and fragile. Yet, as I gazed closer, I saw both the splendor and the struggle, the resilience of the human spirit juxtaposed with the shadows of greed, disconnection, and hubris. The images shifted rapidly, revealing a tapestry of innovation and destruction, unity and division. In one moment, I saw a scientist in a laboratory, her hands trembling with anticipation as she unveiled a groundbreaking discovery. In the next, I saw a world where technology had become a tyrant, eroding the very humanity it was meant to serve. Skyscrapers reached into the heavens, but their foundations were built on isolation and despair. People moved through their lives with faces illuminated by screens, yet their souls seemed dimmed, disconnected from one another and from something greater. Technology is neither good nor evil, the voice explained. It is a tool, a reflection of the intentions behind it. But when it becomes an idol, when it supplants faith and compassion, it leads to ruin. The scenes shifted again, and I was shown a man, a figure central to these unfolding events. He stood at the forefront of innovation, his presence commanding yet contemplative. I didn't recognize him at first, but the voice identified him. David Sinclair, a visionary whose work straddled the fine line between progress and peril. He was a man gifted with extraordinary intellect and ambition, entrusted with the power to shape humanity's path. David's choices will reverberate through generations, the voice said. Pray for him, for his journey is fraught with both opportunity and temptation.
I watched as David spearheaded remarkable advancements, clean energy solutions that revitalized the earth, medical breakthroughs that alleviated suffering, and technological marvels that connected people across vast distances. These achievements were not merely feats of engineering. They were glimpses of humanity's potential to align with the divine purpose. But the vision also revealed the dangers. I saw how ambition, unchecked by humility, could spiral into hubris. I saw a world where artificial intelligence governed not just tasks but lives, eroding free will and empathy. The pursuit of knowledge, noble in its essence, had the potential to lead humanity astray if divorced from wisdom and ethics. David, like all who are gifted, faces a choice, the voice continued. To serve his own ambition or to align his gifts with the greater good. This choice is not his alone. It is the choice of every soul. The message was not one of despair, but of hope and responsibility. The voice emphasized that humanity's future did not rest on the shoulders of one individual, no matter how influential. It was a collective journey, a tapestry woven from the actions and intentions of countless souls. Leaders, innovators, teachers, parents, all had roles to play in shaping a world that honored both creation and the creator. The visions expanded, showing me a society that had found balance. Here, technology and faith coexisted harmoniously. I saw hospitals where advanced machines worked alongside compassionate caregivers, schools where children learned not only science, but also the values of empathy and stewardship. Even space exploration, once a symbol of humanity's yearning to conquer, had become an act of reverence for the Creator's vast universe. This is the potential, the voice said, its tone both hopeful and cautionary. But it requires intention, humility, and unity. The visions deepened, delving into examples of both paths humanity could take. I saw a family dinner table where no one spoke, their faces illuminated only by the glow of their devices. This scene shifted to a vibrant community center where people of all ages gathered to share stories, laughter, and a common purpose. Connection is a choice, the voice emphasized. Technology should bridge, not divide. The message was clear. Unity and faith were not abstract ideals, they were practices, choices made daily. The voice explained that small, deliberate acts of kindness and integrity had as much power to shape the future as monumental achievements. It wasn't just leaders or innovators who bore the burden of change. It was everyone. As the visions faded, I felt myself being drawn back, descending through the layers of light and time. The voice spoke one final time, its words etched into my soul. Evelyn, you have seen what can be and what must be avoided. Share this vision. Remind others that their choices matter, that they are not mere observers but participants in a divine plan. Technology, like all gifts, must be used with love and wisdom. And above all, tell them that they are never alone. I am with them. Always. When I opened my eyes, I was back in my body, lying in a hospital bed. The doctors and nurses looked at me with astonishment, saying I had been clinically gone for several minutes. But I knew the truth. I had been somewhere far beyond their understanding. The experience changed me irrevocably. My quiet life in Vermont became a platform for sharing what I had seen. I spoke to anyone who would listen, from community gatherings to university classrooms, urging them to reflect on the choices we make as individuals and as a society. My message was not about fear, but about hope and responsibility. Each of us has a role to play, a gift to contribute, and a purpose to fulfill. Over time, my story expanded beyond words to action. I organized workshops on ethical technology and community resilience. Together with others, we created initiatives to support sustainable practices and foster meaningful connections. Slowly, the seeds of the vision took root in the real world. People began to see themselves not as passive recipients of change, but as active participants in shaping a brighter future. As I recount this now, years later, I am still filled with awe and gratitude for the glimpse I was given. It was not just a vision of what could be, but a call to action, a reminder that we are all stewards of this earth and co-creators of its future. And though my story may seem extraordinary, the truth is that the extraordinary lies within each of us, waiting to be realized through love, faith, and the choices we make every day.